Is it a coincidence that such horrible crimes against humanity are committed over and over in some of the same areas across the earth? For example, Germany. What the headlines read today about the sickening child abuse rings and human trafficking, what the headlines read during Nazi occupation about the atrocities committed during the Holocaust, from fairy tales of Hansel and Gretel being eaten by a witch to the stories of hunting children in the Black Forest. Something wicked this way comes in this area of Germany. And all of the stories are centered around a kernel of truth, so to speak. In the occult world, where a ritual is held is just as important as the ritual itself. It's not by accident that these atrocities seem to circle the same locations across the earth. Munster or Monster? I came across this article recently by The Mirror, and quoting, "Horror as child abuse dungeon where unimaginable acts filmed found in Germany, and police say it would take 30 years to view all of the child abuse materials seized following the discovery of a house of horrors in Germany." And this article by The Australian, the headline reads, "Germany uncovers pedophile ring of 30,000. Because of the nature of this topic, please read those articles for yourself. Both of these articles and others are referring to the horrifying pedophile ring bust that happened in Munster, Germany. Coincidentally or not, around the same time I came across these articles, and both of those were dated from June 8th to June 30th, I was also reading the book Operation Paperclip, the secret intelligence program that brought Nazi scientists to America, by Annie Jacobsen. And on page 7, it mentions a party that took place, a Nazi party. And it took place in the same area that this pedophile ring bust happened. So what are the odds that in the very same region of Germany, this Munster area of Germany, that a pedophile ring bust of over 30,000 happened this year, but also over 75 years ago near Kassel Varlar, which is all in this area of Germany, housed a private Nazi party on December 9, 1944, hosted by none other than Hitler himself, and in attendance were all of his top brass. There is a time frame beginning to emerge here of how America was starting to transition herself after World War II, and what was at the helm of that transition. Nazi scientists and engineers? The diabolical aspect of an enemy carries the sins of the past with them, determined to be repeated, determined to be inflicted on others, the heart of those consumed with darkness and evil. And if you look wisely, you'll see what is really behind it. It's no coincidence what took place on these grounds over 75 years ago, or today. this castle, Castle Varlar, is where the Nazis were housing the V-2 rocket on this particular night, which happened to be the most advanced flying weapon on Earth, and they planned to demonstrate its power. It made me pause to question, because both regions were mentioned for different reasons and from different time periods. But what would be the one thing that would connect them? This evil? How about the occult? How about some of these ancient mystery teachings of Babylon? What about occult rituals? What about all the occult rituals that we know are associated with the Nazis? Quoting from the book, the party at Castle Varlar was to be a night of warfare and celebration. That night, Werner von Braun and General Walter Dornberger, both top SS Nazi officers under Hitler, received the highest non-combat honors, the Knight's Cross of the War Service Cross. On this night, the excitement alternated from a rocket launch to an award decoration, then back to a rocket launch again. After each launch, Albert Speer, who was Hitler's Minister of Armaments, decorated the men with the medals. Still quoting, the rockets the Nazis launched during this ceremony with the V-2s, that was Werner von Braun's pride and joy, landed in Antwerp, Belgium, killing over 500 people in the Rex Cinema. Okay, so let me get this straight. While these Nazi officers were receiving their honors, over 500 people were murdered. This is what we have come to understand as a ritual killing, and it has the fingerprint of the occult all over it. We also know that rituals performed in certain locations mean something to the people who follow these ancient teachings. Another article by The Sun goes on to say, the mayor of Munster, Marcus Lew, said, "I am terrified that our city was obviously the scene of such terrible acts." My question is, for how long? How long has this area of Germany witnessed the unspeakable acts not only of today, but what happened in this area over 75 years ago? The reoccurring theme we see today and now are discovering about our past is biblical. The connection between it all is abuse, crimes against humanity. Whether you are talking about the Nazis back in the 1940s and what they were doing, and now with pedophilia from Epstein and Maxwell to all the ties that they had worldwide, it all comes back to the occult and evil. On that note, we are stopping here for now, but we will pick up taking a look at this area, historically speaking, of Munster, and see just what kind of monsters we are dealing with.